Hi. While we have mentioned a lot today or this week about I would say the Middle East and or the East, let's say Europe, including Ukraine, Turkey, and some other countries, Algeria from the Northern Africa. Now we wanted to go into Europe and see what's going on over there, especially in our country that we haven't covered a lot, Spain. There will be election in Spain on 28th of April, and early general elections, and we want to discuss how it's going to shape Spain and the European Union. Let's go. Now, coming to Spain, the Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez had given the budget for 2019, and it had been rejected by the Parliament, and since then he had resigned the government and open a gate to early general elections, which is going to take place by 28th of April. But looking at the surveys at the sites and the other political events that's taking place, we want to project how it might end up and what's going on with Spain. Now, there's a left and the right central parties in Spanish, I will say, political balances. The center-left Socialist Party and the center-right Popular Party. Now, considering this, there might be an election, or that there might be, I will say, a coalition of two choices. One of them is about a progressive group, including the Socials and the Podemos. Podemos is a small party. The other one will be a right-wing party, which is a popular party, including the Ciudadanos and Vox Party. Now, Vox Party is a little bit extremist if they are against the idea of the federalization in the EU, but more likely it should be centralized type of, I would say, the government or administration within EU, which might also create a problem if Vox will be opted within any government structure. But considering all these things, it is not easy for all these parties to get united and to form a government. We are projecting that it might take some time because of the differences within the party politics. So once the elections will be resulted by end of 28 April 2019, we assume that it might take 3 months to 6 months maybe time to form a government, which is going to leave blank or suspicious or weak the domestic politics, including foreign politics. Why the foreign politics? Because in EU, during the summer or start of the summer, there will be elections for the institutions, and we are not very sure how they are going to now be represented after all these elections. Who's going to be in the government? How many people are going to be? What's going to be the Spain? I will say, influence or approach to these institutions, how they are going to form up a coalition between themselves will be a question mark. And since it's going to be a black and question mark, and a concern will be given to how Spain will be have influence on the European Union policies. That's why we think that the foreign policy will be weakened for at least by end of 2019. When it comes to economy is not greater than 2012. Yes, the unemployment has come down from 29% to 26%, but it was in 2007 it was 23%, to 2008 it was 23%, so there is not a great development when it comes to unemployment. The debt of compared to GDP is now 100%, and the economic revenue is coming down each year, meaning that it will be hard for any government to increase the GDP through the expenditures, because there will be less and less available revenue for them to spend for. So it means that the economic headwinds are ahead. It's not going to be much more different than the previous government. and all these things should be challenged by the new government. I don't know how or who is going to be in the next term, but it's not easy as it was before. It's going to be even much more worse because of the global also recession or stagnation that might take place in 2019 or end of 2019 and 2020. Now the Brexit is in question marks, how it's going to result, and also the German economy is coming down a little bit, and there's some indications, and Italy is having a greater problems with the domestic debts. Oh, it's a great concern for, I believe, the Spanish economy, how they are going to also recover once, if not, but in our idea approach, but when the global stagnation will start. That's why it's going to be hard. And coming to separatist challenge, which is Catalonia, as usual, they have jailed some of the Catalonian separatist leaders into jail, and some of them already run away from the country. Indeed, looking at all the, I will say, all the parties' political ideas and announcements, we understand that there will be no solution for Catalonia. Every party is against the independence of the Catalonia, which means that the problems will not be solved from tomorrow, yesterday to tomorrow. So we think that the small parties have much more nationalistic approach. The bigger parties have, I would say, or the right parties have an approach of, I will say, a direct control of the Catalonia, and the Socialist Party have direct, I would say, negotiations with the Catalonia in order to reduce the tensions, but none of them agree about the independence of the Catalonia. And while all this taking place, we think that the Spanish influence in the European Union will be diminished considerably until before the new year, I will say. And in the long run, it will not change anything within Spain. Their problems are intact as today. But we only think that if the global stagnation will start place, we are not very sure how they are going to challenge or tackle all these problems. But eventually, the government is going to be formed, and they will start trying to find solutions for all these problems. But as of now, we see that from yesterday to tomorrow, even the elections will be taking place in 28th of April in 2019. And there will be no major changes in Spanish politics. Thank you for watching us, and I hope you like it. If you like it, please press like underneath the screen, and we will appreciate it a lot. Thank you for watching us. Keep it with us.